To get started, you want to take your button and thread on your cords. So I'm going to put one colour at one side and one colour at the other side. So starting with the shortest threads, I'm going to thread those through, and then each time I'm going to match the ends and then make sure that the button's in the centre of both the threads. And now once I've done the shortest threads, I'm going to do the longest ones. So for the longest ones, you can thread through the same spot that you've done the same colour at each side. But when you thread through at the other side, you only want to pull one end as long as your shortest cords. You want to do this for both of your longest cords. So once you've got all your cords on, it should look like this. So now I'm going to keep the longest cords at the top of the button when I clip it to the top of the board. I'm going to pull one colour to one side and one colour to the other. So next you want to take your shortest cords and you want to clip them to the bottom of the board. But because I'm kind of weaving in sections here, I'm going to clip each section separately. And your section in the middle will have one cord of each colour. So once you've clipped everything in place, it should look like this. So to start your pattern, you're doing something that's a little bit similar to a square knot, but it's like you've got an extra section to work with. So you're going to take this cord and you're going to go over these cords, under these cords, and over these cords. And then you're going to take your next colour and you're going to go over this cord, and then you're going to go under here and here, and then you're going to go over here and here, and then you're going to go under here and here, and then you're going to pull everything together. And then just gently tighten up to the top where your button is. And then for your next row, you're going to take the cord at the same side, and then you're going to go under, and then over, and then under. And with the next colour, you're working under there, over this section, and then under this section, and then over this section, and then pulling it under here. And once you've done, again, you can just ease it into place near your button. So again, you're taking this cord and going over here, under here, and over here. And then you're taking this one and going over here, under this cross here, over this one, and then under this one, and then over this cord. And then just tighten up to your button. And then for your second row, you're just doing the opposite of what you've just done, and you're going under, over, and under. And with this colour, you're going under this colour that you've just worked, over here, under here, and you're working it diagonally when you're going under both cords, and then over here, and then underneath, and again tighten up to your button. And you're going to keep repeating these 2 rows until you've got the bracelet, as long as you want it. So once you've got the bracelet as long as you want it, you should end up with something that looks like this. So now I'm just going to make a fastening for the button. So you can remove the ends from the bottom of the board where you've clipped them, and then you want to separate them into 2 sections instead. So I'm going to do the first section, and I'm going to clip these to the bottom of the board, and put these out of the way, and take the cord at this side and go over and then through, like that, and then do the opposite by going under and through. And you want to keep doing these knots until you've got the fastening as big as you need it for the button you're using, and this will vary depending on the size of the button you picked. So it is a good idea to measure as you go along. And you want to do the same thing at both sides. And once you've done both sides, it should look something like this. So now you want to leave these 2 threads out, and then get the rest of them and attach them to the bottom of the board. And you're going to do a couple of square knots just to attach these 2 together. So once you're happy that everything's nice and tight, you can remove your bracelet from the board. And now you just want to trim off and seal any tail ends. So I'm going to use a lighter to seal here, but you can use glue if you prefer. So once you've finished, you should end up with something that looks like this. And on the opposite side, you just have a mirror of what you've got on this side. So where you've got blue or whatever colour you use there, it's going to be in the centre on the other side. So you can wear this whichever way around you like. So now you just want to try on your bracelet. And that is your completed 3-stripe woven bracelet.